All right, welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show on this Thursday, first Thursday of the Memorial Tournament, first real day of action out there at Muirfield Village up in Dublin, Ohio. So right outside was pretty excited, Schlegs for that.
Why are you excited about it, Bob?
Well, because I like to go out there. So probably not going to go out today. I'll go out on Friday. Hopefully it doesn't rain tomorrow. Friday is kind of the one day it's supposed to get more of the rain, but I got a speech later today at the Ohio Addiction Summit. So yeah, I'm talking human development and leadership. It's a big deal going on downtown. Yeah, so
got that going. What are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? Can you give everybody like a little snapshot of like the juice that you're going to bring?
Well, it's a 90-minute speaking window for me, which is a little bit longer than normal.
Questions, baby.
Yeah, well, that's like a class. It's at the Ohio Union. And I get it. So it's all good. But I've got this whole presentation. I've got some stuff that I've been workshopping, doing a whole leadership development program. So I'm going to kind of have drop-ins and little nuggets of that. Because a couple companies have asked me to put together like a 4 to 8 week or 8 session development program. And so I've been working on this over the last couple of weeks. I've got a model about, leadership and communication and all these different things and human development that I've been working through. And so let's do some of that. So that's kind of what it is. But I do have slides, a deck, because doing 90 minutes raw is tough. I'd rather have some visual aids and some things to keep me going. I mean, that's my class that I teach at Ohio State's 80. So this is right in that same window. But I usually have a deck, or I'll have a case that we're working off of within something I'm very familiar with. And so I can do that, but there's going to be like 1,000 people here. So there's like 2 main speakers a day and then breakout. So I've got one of those, and
that's juicy, Bob.
It is. And it's a lot of it is about managing millennials and Gen Zers and kind of what that looks like.
Did you bring in my nugget about the why, what, when?
Listen, I've got that. And that's a whole slide deck. That's a whole slide, to tell you the truth. And that's
down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute conversation about, what, when, why versus why, when, what. And how I've dropped that on people, and they love it, because they're like, yeah, say that again. I'm like, well, it's the truth, because like your kids now, why, and then when, no good. That's not a good time. And
then the day my dad's like, because I said so.
Yeah,
I'm your dad. I'm like, yes, sir.
So I tried to work in the last couple of days. I got like 7 yards of mulch dropped off by Ohio Mulch, and so we do our own mulch around here. People have said like, oh, have us come, we'll do the mulching, everything for you. I'm like, listen, man, I appreciate the offer. I enjoy looking at it when it's done. I enjoy making my kids now, as they're to that age. Like, dude, we've got a nice big dump wagon, and you get the snow shovel out there and you go to work on it. And my daughter, who, we're trying to work with some the responsibility Schlegs and some different things, and she's got a lot of energy about her, and we just got to point in a positive direction. Like, hey, you're going to learn now to do a little bit of this mulching, because I know you're a 14-year-old girl and I think you're above it, but nobody's above any job. And so I want you, that when you get some big, sweet job or own a company when you're older, you know what it's like to do real hard work and do hard things. So I had her do the one side Schlegs right by our driveway. We've got a fence, and Court planted a bunch of zinnias there, which are coming up. And so it's really more tedious and monotonous than it is. Like, it's not just heavy shoveling, but you're on your hands. You got to put it around and everything so you don't break it. And there's a couple hydrangeas out there too. And it's only probably about a foot wide, but it probably runs, I don't know, 40 to 50 feet along the side of our driveway.
It's a nice area. I've seen it.
Yeah. So I go, you're going to do that. She wanted to take off school. So I was like, okay, your school's almost done. It's like half day nonsense. So yesterday I had her, you're going to do that and you want to hang out with your friends. She goes, well, I thought you were going to do it with me. I go, here's the thing. I've got to record a show. Then I've got a meeting. I've got XM to do as well yesterday. So all this stuff, I go, do you really want to do it at 6 o'clock at night with me? Or would you rather do it by yourself? I go, there's an example. I did one. We have a circle with a tree around it. I go, take a look at that, how thick the mulch is, how it's kind of laid out. I go, you're going to have to probably use your hands more. So she got some gloves, wheelbarrow, and she told my wife, hey, my back hurts. She's like, that was tough. I'm like, yeah, you see the rest of that pile? You did about a 20th of it. 5. I don't think we're 10%. We're probably 5. It's like, so how bad do you think your dad's back's going to hurt from shoveling all that, loading it in? He's bending down another 1.5 feet on top.
Gilmore style.
Yeah.
It hurts when that's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping.
It is. It's 100% Adam Sandler
And here's the thing: why are we planting zinnias? I think there's a new plant out there called a Zen plant that actually like sprouts off nicotine pouches. And side nugget for your talk.
I just plant tobacco. I just plant some weed outside.
Plus, also, it's just like the little cans are in the roots, and you got to pull them up. And there's your can. And you pick them off. You throw them. Anyways, I digress. The other thing is like, hey, if service is below you, then leadership is beyond you, right?
That's true.
And that's what in a family unit, in a team unit. Like again, how do we come full circle? Because we're talking about football, right? Mick always says, carry the water, don't just drink it. And that's everybody's responsibility, right? It's like, don't just be out there. Like, I honestly detest this whole thing. Like, I'm a grown man. Like, when we played, Bob, if anybody wanted to come over and squirt water, I'm like, give me the bottle.
Oh, the squirting the bottle in your mouth. Yeah, I can't.
It's terrible. Like, it should be automatically in a group chat between you, me, Corey Lindsley, Nate, Stu, like that. That's what goes in a group chat.
Like, I don't want to have anyone
other grown men in the mouth with water.
I don't want to have anyone spraying anything on my face.
Okay,
100%. I don't need that. I'm not about that life. When I was in Dallas, I think we talked about it one time when we were watching. I think like Monday Night Football or something when we were playing in college, and I think it was like T.O. or Chad Johnson or someone. They like squirted it and then wiped it off. The trainer did, and I'm like, wow. That's ridiculous. And then T.O. comes to Dallas and they would do that for him. He's like, water. I understand the boxing when you do it because you have gloves on, so you can't really squeeze the jug yourself and you have no fingers. You just have mitts. So like that makes sense. But for like football players, like, dude, give me that. I'm going to spray it in my mouth. I'm like, they tried. I'm like, give me that, man. I'm not letting you do this.
No.
It's degrading to you and it's embarrassing to me. It's what it is. And by the way, you're not going to do as good a job as I am because I know the exact amount of water that I want in my mouth. So I'm going to continue to ingest as long as I'm good. But that was all part of it. And I've told my kids, like, everything I teach you, we do for a purpose. It's just like football. Laurinaitis James is awesome. He goes, if we're doing a drill and I can't find you that drill, the purpose of it, and like a clip of exactly where it translates within like 5 plays, we're not doing it.
You're not doing that.
Because he's like, that's 5 plays. You might be getting 60 in a game. He's like, we're sitting there almost, 10% through a game, and you're telling me that we can't find this drill to reproduce it. So, that's his thing. That's why I tell my kids everything that we do has a purpose. And part of the purpose of doing hard things is, number 1, to get used to doing hard things. Number 2, it's going to be to make sure that you understand that nothing is beneath you. Because, like, what did you say, Schlags? If
service is below you, then leadership is beyond you.
Service is below you, then leadership is beyond you. So nothing in this world should be beneath you, just like nothing is going to be beneath me. I clean the toilets in our house. You can clean the toilets in our house. You can clean other people's toilets. It's fine. It's work. And you know what? And especially if it's yours, you have the pride and ownership of it as well. And so you'll always be able to relate to people who have harder jobs, who have done tougher things. And you'll understand when you ask somebody to do that, what that all is going to entail.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you'll have an appreciation for it. Like, Fick used to always say, go thank your D lineman up front for holding that double team for you. And so when I started playing defensive line, I'm like, man, that sucks. Like, he's like, getting pressure so that you're not back there running around chasing your tail and coverage. Like, it all works together. So have an appreciation for the people that make your job a little bit easier.
Yeah, I applaud the Air Force Academy because I put myself into this predicament. But I remember when I was at the prep school, I did some crazy things. I think, one night we tried to go out and, rope a mule deer, probably naked, wearing a cowboy hat or whatever. Did some crazy things. But then one of my punishments was literally for a month, every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and we played – like JUCOs, like Snow Junior College, and there's a really good one out of Kansas we played.
Hold up. Why did you try to rope a mule deer?
I mean, why would you not? Like,
you're going to eat it? Like, were you
no. Just like, I don't know, just try to ride it around. I don't know. Like, this is stuff that we were doing. Anyway, super fun things, right? When you go to I forget what the XP or whatever the place was where you can buy groceries. And
I've been to those on installations.
Yeah, they're super fun. Anyways, I digress. I probably did some other stupid things that led me to I had to shovel horse crap out of the stalls.
They got horses at the Air Force?
Yeah, they do. They have horse stalls there. So I don't know.
The
Some
horses have
cavalry.
wings? Or
No, they don't. They're not Pegasus. They're not Pegasus.
All right.
But they had horse stalls, and we had to shovel. We had to clean all the stalls. And we played on Saturday. So I would go down there and show up at like 5 a.m., had to walk down, shovel horse crap, literally from like 5 a.m. until noon. And then we played at 2. And it was like, you ain't getting out of it. Like, I'm like, okay, sure. And I did that. And I remember just playing in the next 4 games. And I had my face was black. Like I was like blowing farmer's snot, and it was just like dark. It was probably horse manure that I had inhaled and did it. And I had appreciation. Did I continue to get in trouble? Yeah. But you know what though? I learned that I could do really terrible, disgusting things and still go play ball. So Air Force, I appreciate you for holding me accountable to do those type of things. Because it was like, I could do anything after that. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, you realize the bounds of your existence. Usually what that would do, Sykes, is it would serve as a deterrent. It would just serve as a warning. Like, I don't want to do this because the punishment sucks.
No.
Whereas
I could do worse. I could even, there is more levels that I could go to where I will eventually stop. That's just not one. And it's kind of like growing up, my dad, great story. He said I was soft because I like quarter pounder with cheese, pickles and ketchup only. And I had a wrestling tournament.
Sauce.
I had a wrestling tournament. I did not do. I did well, but I lost the first match. I was seeded. I had to wrestle back. I was like 7-2 or whatever. Ended up getting 6th out of like 130 kids. He poked me in my chest like in a single cab Chevy for a long time. And then ordered. Actually, he didn't do anything until he ordered. And he ordered Big Macs for me. I hated Big Macs. I hated the special sauce. And he ordered them like, I'm not eating that. And then the chest poking happened. That's why you're soft. Your mom babies you, all these different things. You don't like hard things. You weren't focused. I don't know. Probably my mom's relationship and his, and then my performance all spewed into one conversation. And I was a very picky eater. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I remember during survival training, Siri training at the academy, I always hated onions. Well, let me tell you something. You don't hate onions when an onion is the only thing that you can eat. And I remember one particular time, I literally got this onion and I peeled off like the outer crusty part that's kind of like, it's like a pearl looking thing, but it's darker, and then you peel it off and now the onion is the onion. I literally ate that thing like an apple. And I will kid you not, from that moment on, I like onions. I do, man. It's real talk, right? So again, do hard things. I don't know where we're going. What's going on in college football and professional football and in the world of athletics, Bob? Like, what's going on?
Well, we've got something big that I'm going to tell you. Well, something big, something remarkable that we saw. And I'm glad we kind of went down this road because it took me right where we were going to go. We talked about Ohio State and their rings and their national championship rings, which were awesome. And they've got like the fold back. It's like a locket. It's got some confetti inside. They had to find a way to kind of commemorate the whole run in it. And when you have all those iconic games, how do you make sure you encompass all that? So you did that. So you get a ring. And so you're always fan, like you get rings for winning titles, rings for winning championships. Now you guys got a ring in 2012 for the undefeated season, which you weren't, in your all fairness to you were not able to play in anything. And that was not due to any of the players that were part of it. It was due to obviously what had happened before. And so there's an interesting ring story that we've got out of here that I want to get to from one of the a fairly prominent college and a quarterback that I have a heck of a lot of respect for. And I think we're just giving rings out to give rings. I'm not sure.
Well, it's kind of like when you go to a baseball tournament now, every single kid's like walking away with a ring or
trophy, this award, that award. Listen, man, keep moving on. We're going to get to that in a minute because attention parents and athletes, protect what matters most. Trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export guards are scientifically tested to absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber, custom 3D printed to your own grill. That means more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication. So you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby and save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Who's Lord of the Rings? We'll find out next. Welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And Sykes, we were talking about doing hard things. You do the hard stuff, you get the reward. If you do the things you need to do when you need to do them, then one day you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them. Trying to teach that to my kids. You don't always get a trophy. Life isn't always easy.
Hey,
How-
Bob, that
Yeah.
12-0 season, I want to say this real fast. They got a ring. We got a ring. We couldn't play because of the bowl ban, which was stupid. I believe would have won the national championship versus Notre Dame that year. Alabama boat raced them. But that was Urban Meyer's best coaching job. Just saying. There was a lot of things that transpired out of that year that, escalated the program. I think he changed the culture and everything that needed to be changed. And yes, they deserved a ring for going 12-0 to kind of commemorate that undefeated season.
What if you went undefeated at home?
But I lost other games, Bob. Did I lose other games? Did I lose other games?
About half of them.
Okay, then the answer
undefeated at home, you struggle a little bit on the road. Throw that up, Pat. Georgia Tech. I love Haynes King, dude. Haynes King is a dog. They played Georgia really tough. Like did they beat Miami?
They beat Miami.
Yeah, they beat Miami. They did some cool things.
I think they beat South Carolina. Maybe. I know they beat Florida State. Maybe that was it. They beat Florida State early.
I'm sorry, they beat South Carolina this year.
No. They beat Florida State. They beat Florida State, and they beat Miami.
Yes. Georgia Tech got rings for their 7 and 6 season. Now, at first, I was like, what the heck are you getting those rings for? They didn't even win their bowl game, so they were 7 and 5. But it says 6-0 at home, Schlags. And I love Haynes King. He's a dog. He is a tough son of a gun at quarterback. But, I mean, have you ever seen such a thing? Have you ever heard of anything like that? And what would you do with that ring once you got it?
I don't know. I guess it's the memories that you did, but like undefeated at home, you lost your bowl game. You went 7 and 6, and you got a ring.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
I go back to, we could have got an Alamo Bowl ring, but like that wasn't the standard. And again, this is a bigger conversation of what the landscape of college football actually is. Who are the ones that are playing for championships? And is that the standard? And like, honestly, does Georgia Tech even need to be in the conversation? This goes some stuff down the rabbit hole of what, dadgummit, was it Sankey from the SEC is talking about? But like, there's levels to this thing in college football, and going undefeated at home, maybe it's never been done in school history. I don't know. It says defend the flats on it, and it has the stadium and that you're undefeated, but that's not really the season. Like, the standard shouldn't be that you go undefeated at home. What'd you do on the road? I remember.
What did you do with your whole season? I mean,
I just remember our
2004.
Right, we're 3-0, then we go 3-3, and then we go on a run. I think we would go 6-1. We lost to Purdue, which never lost in that game, and then we go and we blow out Oklahoma State in the Alamo Bowl, and that kind of I don't need a ring to remember that season. I remember for all the bad things that transpired. The Northwestern game, that was terrible. The Wisconsin game at home, the Purdue game on the road, but I do remember the positive was how we finished strong. That I believe catapulted us into our senior year. And then even in that year, we were co-Big Ten champs. So we got a ring for that. And we ended up finishing 4th in the country. And we had 2 losses, both Penn State and Texas. And honestly, the only games that I can recall are the Texas and the Penn State games, because they're the ones they lost besides our, and that would be like us getting a ring in 2004 because we beat Michigan. We get gold pants, but it's like, oh, hey, guess what? You had a great season because you won. No, like, we beat Michigan. We get gold pants for that. I don't need a ring to commemorate what that 8-4 season looked like, So
why not? Like, that should be one you want to remember, a walk to remember, if you will. That's where we're at now. Like,
walk in the clouds.
Well, I always say the jewelry, the jewelry and the awards. There's something that they symbolize what that season or what that exactly
symbology.
William Defoe, but they symbolize, and they're supposed to serve as a memory and as a marker where, hey, when you see that as a conversation piece for all of the stories, but all the memories and everything that are associated with it, like the good and the bad. And ironically, like, you usually only remember the bad in life, which is kind of crazy that that's how you're wired, especially the more competitive you are. That's just how it works. So it kind of sucks. But like, I don't need something to help me remember about like those worst points. Like usually it's remember the positive. The sad thing is the 2002 season, I remember so very little of it. So much maybe it was because my freshman year, but it was my first experience to it. I mean, I remember some bits and pieces. I remember our senior year, the Texas loss, the Penn State loss, Schlegs. You remember sitting there at the Virginia Tech game. I'm drunken, drunk as a bandit. Or I'm screaming my head off, trying to figure out why we couldn't, why we weren't utilizing a couple tools to execute against the Bears zero defense on offense. I'm like, why aren't they doing this? And it's like all the worst parts of what you remember. And thinking to myself, should I go down in the locker room right now? My brother's GA. I wasn't
This
fully,
is 14. This is 14.
I was 14. I wasn't fully hammered yet, but would it be good for me to go down there and to be able just to light the world up and be able to
Just get
explain?
back.
Well, just to say, hey, they're running man. Number one, let's motion. Number two, let's run bunch routes. Let's extend the tight end, make a big C gap, force them to do these things. I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's three things that I thought of just off the top of my head that if we were running this would be tough for us to work against. And they're just running the same play over and over again on defense, the same call, and we're not doing any of it.
Come on, Bob.
Oh,
that was 14. He wasn't there yet. Sorry.
who?
That was Bulls.
Oh no, it wasn't Bowles. It was Tom Herman. I'm
I know
like,
it
what
was.
are we doing,
Come
Tom?
on, Tom.
You got a big brain. You're like Mensa and like some sort of genius. I mean, let's go. And listen, they got all that figured out, and but like that's part of like coaching it on the fly and trying to figure some things out with everything. And then Tom Herman, he went down to Texas and
Went
struggled
to
a little bit.
Houston, won.
Then to
Went
Texas.
to
But
Texas.
I say that, Schlegs, because people always have, especially this is what you love about college football, and this is college athletics. I don't ever want to lose this. Is the togetherness that you have and the pride that you have in it. So even if it may not be pride for like Ohio State, I do respect the fact that people went to school somewhere, they're from that state, indigenous to that region. That you know what, it's something they always carry with them. And there's a golfer at Muirfield this week that is maybe showing off a little bit of his Lone Star pride. We'll get to that and let you know who that is coming up next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we got our guy Anthony Schlegel with me. Listen, if you're watching this far, please like, subscribe, leave your comments. Going to go over a lot of the comments here as we did maybe some of them yesterday as well, and hit some of them. There's a lot of comments from the Matt Patricia interview that we had. Looking forward to get Coach Lachlan on. I was going to try to do it this week. We just got so much crap going on.
They got a lot of recruits coming in.
Well, we do, and we'll talk maybe a little bit more about that.
Probably not going swimming or jumping in pools with them, though.
Well, maybe. You don't know that, Schlegs. You don't know that, but throw that up there, Pat. Jordan Spieth, Texas guy, he's in Columbus, Ohio. Now, his team lost. Remember this. Like, they lost. But Jordan Spieth, a proud Texan, Schlegs, and so I get where he's coming from here, and let's let that roll.
It's not great being a Texas Longhorn right now. And I may hear a little bit about that, but hopefully we get our revenge in September. It's you circle it on the calendar. It's it feels like a major championship every time we come here because of the golf course, the amphitheater settings, the crowds, the people. It's one of the best weeks of the year. It looks like it's going to be as good or better shape than it always is, which is immaculate. And then the weather's going to cooperate, so it's going to be a really good one this week. There's no hiding it out here. You either have it or you don't. And
there's no hiding out there, but like he talked about it. It's very kind words about the memorial, but then said, hey, tough up here. I'm probably going to hear it on the course a little bit. I'm glad that he just acknowledges that. That's like, I think people will be doing the same thing down at the Byron Nelson or down in Texas. Should, they be down there or something happened, if Ohio fans were down there, Ohio State fans, and they're getting down there heckled by Texas fans. Like, that's all part of it. And that's probably the best part about college sports, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say too, is like the one thing I disagree with them. It's hard to be a Texas fan. Honestly, it's a good thing to be a Texas fan because you sucked and now you're better. So yeah, you got beat, you got beat by the Buckeyes. I mean, like, who hasn't? and somebody could spout off that team up north. I see you guys out there, okay? But you're fine. Like your team is on the up and up. And guess what, man? We're gonna have a really good one, especially if we can pull that thing to a night game. Still, hopefully, somebody's working on that. I think we could do it, Bob, on the Bobby Carpenter show, just a whiteboard, some monsters, and we could figure this out with the TV networks and how much of a draw that would be, moving it back to a Sunday night game. But that being said, one, the memorial is fantastic. It's Jack's place. I would say this, though, everybody that's listening, despite the fact that it's, May, 29th now, Bob, and it's been raining and overcast and in the 60s in Columbus, Ohio. And I also have to be moving my family.
You missed this last weekend. The last weekend, it was in the 60s, mid to high 60s, dry. But
I know I was there. I was mowing. I was like, I appreciate it. But my wife and my daughter aren't going to appreciate it because it's 90 in Florida and there's sun and the UV is amazing. Right. And then it's like, we're in May, like we're almost in June and it's still like this. But I will say this. Good golf, great weather. Like that's what you want. The greens up here, FYI, guys, go play our public courses. Like they're really nice. I mean, Lancaster Golf Club, guys, boom, the greens were rolling. Stimp meter, I don't know what it was, but it was nice. I can putt really well on good greens. Guess what? Way better greens than in Florida, by the way.
Okay.
Your field's going to be amazing.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. Are you going out to the tournament at all, Schlegs?
Probably not.
Why not, dude? You used to be such a staple out there. Schlegs.
Oh man,
so many years. The folks loved when you would show up and show out.
Yeah, back in the day when I would just rip the wings off of a cicada and eat it for $200, like those days are long gone. I have, I have probably yet to defile myself to the levels that I could go, but no. So I choose to not put myself in those situations. No, if I was. It's just hard what we're doing at the Armory and the good things that we're going. Like on a Friday, that would be probably the only day that I could go because Steph and Sam are coming up because they got a football camp this next week. We got to check out the house. We got a lot of things we got to do. There's probably going to be a lot of manual labor work for myself over the weekend. It's just part of being a dad. And I got to go handle my have-tos before I can go do my want-tos.
I'm with you, but you can't get that done before and plan it up. I mean, we got 4 days of pure bliss starting today, Schlegs. Like that's the best part of it, man.
Like I said, maybe Friday. Maybe Friday could be a day that I could sneak out there and go check it out. But
slug down some drinks in the sun, enjoy life a little bit.
The hardest thing is finding an Uber driver that wants to take you all the way out to Circleville. Like that's the
problem. Can't you? When did you guys close on your house? Can't you just crash there on the floor?
No, I don't know because like I'm demoing. I don't have nothing in there. There's nothing. Everything I own is in pods.
That's fine, dude. We'll just get you a sleeping bag, Schlegs. You guys can be like camping,
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
You love the camp. You love the camp. All right, let me tell you guys about our friends over at Backer. If you're going up to the course, you're going to want to wear some sweet Buckeye gear. That's bckr.com, premium Buckeye jackets and hats. I've got some of it. We're working on getting Schlegs some. They're better than anything else out there. They feel good. They look good. They're premium product, premium quality, premium pricing. The golf gear, the hunting gear, the fishing, the skiing, all those things. You're going to see stuff like that out there at Muirfield. Just slap a Buckeye logo on it when you buy it at backer.com, bckr.com. Portion of it goes to the proceeds go to Ohio State student athletes. So you're helping them as well. And if you want expedited shipping for free, how about this? Use promo code Bobby, BOBBY, all caps. Again, that's backer.com, bckr.com. Go check them out. We got our headlines coming up next. All right, welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show. And we got our headlines brought to you by our friends over at Lake Spur Marketing. Lake Spur Marketing, they're full service. They're built on trust. They're built on strategy. They're built on performance. They do a great job for you. Lake Spur Marketing lets you do what you do best. Work on your business. They're going to shield you from all the unnecessary nonsense. You don't have to deal with that. They've got the experience you're looking for with over 100 combined years within the agency. Lake Spur eliminates the waste. They deliver on time. And most importantly, Schlegs, as you know, on budget. They don't chase those clicks. They build the partnerships. Lake Spur Marketing, the proof is in the partners. Ohio State is a Nike school.
Yep.
Right. And this comes into play. I mean, Ohio State's one of the more prominent Nike brands. I mean, outside of probably Carolina, Michigan's a Jordan brand. You've got
Nike.
It's Nike. That's what I'm saying. Like under the Nike umbrella.
Oregon, obviously.
Sweet. Oregon, obviously. Texas is a Nike brand. Like those are the big ones that get just about anything they want.
Georgia.
Tennessee was a Nike brand. They are apparently Schlags going to be going to Adidas. Inside sources
See
confirmed.
that shoe? It says Adidas.
Yes, as presented terms, apparel sponsor for UT Athletics. The new deal, Adidas will make Tennessee the face of its brand in college football athletics, along with a hefty check north of $200 million for a 10-year period. It's $20 million a year, so that's probably a merch too. Tennessee used to be Adidas Schlags when we were coming up.
They were.
The bigger conversation is here. Nike is so prevalent in college sports, and I think it has such a strong brand that I remember guys when they were being recruited, they wouldn't go to schools that were Under Armour, Adidas because they liked Nike so much. Do you think that's still the case?
I think that NIL changed everything. You know, I guys can go work their own deals. Guys are doing stuff with Roebuck, right? Like we're a Nike school, but they can wear whatever they want. I think that it is not that big a deal, especially when you look at like the deals that have done and what really I'm looking at more of like the brands. And the bigger question is, why would you make Tennessee that brand for you? They're in the SEC, yes. I also believe that Texas A&M is Adidas. I want to say, I don't know why that popped into my mind, but maybe they're trying to impact and get more eyeballs in that market. If you go look at like Under Armour,
I think Notre Dame's Under Armour.
Under Armour, right? Northwestern Under Armour. I only know that because I just remember that, but
I only know it because I remembered it.
Notre Dame. Don't worry about it. That's why we're on. That's why I'm in the media. I just add the hard hitting facts. But why? Like they're huge brands, huge followings. I don't know how big the brand of the T is. So, but they are on TV a lot. They are coming up a little bit. So, is $200 million over 10 years.
That go for them on December 20th, Schlags.
Exactly. But I'll say this, though. For Tennessee, you want a bigger deal like this. And I think you're going to see these bigger programs not necessarily stay with a Nike just because kids like them. They're looking at like, what's going to get kids in the building? I would say this, because of NIL, you guys remember probably 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, there was an arms race in college athletics for bigger, better facilities. Georgia's facility is enormous. Michigan's facility is enormous. Alabama's facility, enormous. Ohio State, honestly, same footprint for a long time. Like just probably right after we left, Bob, they renovated the Woody, and it's still the same framework. Here's why I say that. Kids aren't going to universities for the amenities. Like you're seeing the value propositions pushed by colleges. It is development. It is winning. It is, the coaching, the brotherhood, all those different things. That's what we sell at Ohio State. It's the NIL dollars. It's no longer what it is that you wear. They don't care. You're just, like you said earlier, like you're renting that jersey. Who cares what label is on the side of my shoe? It doesn't impact me. What impacts me immediately is my NIL money. And so for Tennessee, you're looking at this, that's an additional $20 million. We only have 17 sports. That $20 million is going right in the coffers to be able to fill that for the NIL. And then we have the revenue share. Like we need that money more than we need just the brand of Nike to be associated with us. So we're going to take the bigger, better deals more so than the brands.
Do you remember the corner that decommitted from Ohio State and ended up going to Oregon? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I do. I remember that. Yes.
And he went there. They said they were going to get him his own shoe.
Own shoe.
Like, do you think that there's value in that? If you're Adidas and you say, listen, Tennessee, we want to make you our flagship. When you have big time guys come through, you talk to us and we'll design a shoe for them, just like we do in the NFL, just like we do in the NBA. Like we'll design these shoes for your players, and then they can be, quote, like the icon and the brand forward dudes.
Well, it could be, Bob. Again, that's why like every university moving forward has to have their own value prop. I don't think that you necessarily have to have that at Ohio State. If you're a Caleb Downs, just like they are at Oregon, you're going to go to Nike and say, hey, listen, man, Caleb, he does not have this. Well, you know what? Let's use Lathan Ransom. He had some footwear issues. hey, Lathan needs a particular style of cleat. You don't make it in a wide. He needs to make it in a wide because he has to have a certain insole that has carbon fiber on the bottom. We need you to make this. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to make it. We're not going to publicize that they're making it for them, but they need to make it. That's what they're going to do. That's part of the partnership. It's automatically in the deal. They have foot scanners that come in that will put you in, and honestly, the cleat that you need. And if the cleat doesn't exist or needs to be done, that's what Kevin does. He calls up Nike and like, we need some custom cleats for this particular athlete. That's part of the deal. They just want to make them the branding around that shoe for Nike or for Adidas. That's okay. I think guys come to Ohio State for completely different reasons than that. And it's honestly also okay because those are the guys that we want in our culture. So you yourself as an organization have to have identified what are the people that you want on your team. And if there's somebody that is gravitating toward that, then they might not be a fit for all the things that you do. You look at Jeremiah Smith, he could easily go wherever he wants, probably have his own shoe or whatever. But Jeremiah Smith is also the Iron Buckeye his freshman year, his sophomore year, and just continues to be very quiet, very humble, and to continue to do work. Like that's the type of guy that you want. And he could go other places, make significantly more money, but he knows that he's getting developed for the next level right here and now at Ohio State. So he's going to stay for that. So I think every place is different, but everybody can utilize these different tools to move the needle one way or another for a player.
I love it, Schlegs. Needle moving. That's what we're all about. All right, coming up next, we're going to get to our tailgate talk. We answer some of your questions and comments. The Matt Patricia show has been wildly consumed. A lot of comments in there, a lot of good stuff as well. We'll break that down in some of our tailgate talk here coming up next. All right, Schlegs, as we go to our tailgate talk brought to you by our friends over at Real Truck. Pat, we'll just run through some of these because there is one right at the very top from Howard D. McMillan, 4195. Said, always assumed he was an enemy because he coached for the Cheaterates. But now that I've seen him interviewed, I've been very impressed with his positivity.
Yeah. You want me to elaborate on that?
I don't know, Schlegs. So
I can. Here's the thing. Like,
have you seen the comments?
Oh yeah, I've seen the comments. But my biggest thing is this: coaches are transient. They're moving from one organization to another. You can't judge them based upon what they are, where they've done. To me, it's about how they add value to your organization. Immediately when we heard of Matt Patricia being thrown out there, there was also a name of Joe Cullen. I coached with Joe. Think very highly of Joe. Matt Patricia, one brings. What I love most about Matt Patricia is what you guys heard in that, and that is how he teaches. Because you have to be a better educator now than you ever had to be in the past. He's also embraced the recruiting side, which Jim Knowles necessarily did not. It was more, even when James was an assistant, not the linebacker coach at the very beginning, though he couldn't travel, James was the recruiting face when they were on campus, and then they would meet with Jim. So that being said, I think what he does is he helps Ryan, having been in an organization that's won multiple Super Bowls, having been a head coach in the NFL, understanding the practice length and intentionality of which you go through practice now, especially with a longer season, potentially even playing more conference games as we move down the road. He adds a lot of value, keeping guys healthy. I thought that Mick and Ryan did a phenomenal job last year in the run. Like you saw how our guys looked. Our guys looked fresh and fast and violent at the end. So kudos to them. But he also has more nuggets that he can bring. So when I look at the hire, I just was super grateful, Bob, that you got him on and everybody could hear the side that we hear and also get a glimpse into the why behind defenses and how he ties that into the history of getting guys to buy in. So they have, again, raising up their football acumen. That's something that they can take to the next level. And also he's using verbiage that they currently use in the NFL because there's a lot of places that run the same style of defense because they all learned it from the Sabans, from the Belichicks. Like that's just how it's happened.
I love it, Schleich. That's good. Yeah. Well, the Bills, if you will. Here's one that's going to be thrown at you. This is from Dex 3945. It said, wait, so Ohio high schools don't have like the football only team weight training periods in school? Question mark.
They don't. They don't. I want to say this. Probably every school is different, Bob. I do think this. I think with where our society is, I mean, I remember actively doing side nugget. There could be some cool stuff coming from the lieutenant governor's office here in the near future. But I think that the loss of, what PE is, and we have a lot of great PE teachers that are out there.
Don't even get me started. They only do they do 2 half-hour periods of PE in Lancaster a week. My mom was like, how am I supposed to get these kids in shape?
Right. And I think, I remember doing the physical, the presidential fitness test. I loved it. I wanted to go get the award.
Hey, I have it printed out upstairs. I have it printed out upstairs for my kids. I'm like, can you do this?
Yeah.
Can you do this?
I think that, one thing too is, in schools, and again, I'm speaking this from a practitioner that owns a facility that does human performance training, and I hired the best, like Jay Hooten is our director of sports performance. He was the head strength coach for Northwestern for well over a decade and a half, and the dude put out numerous, first round draft picks and developed dudes at Northwestern that were the Big Ten champs on the West Side, like making chicken soup out of chicken crap. You know what I'm saying? And so
Andy can inventory weights like nobody else I know.
No doubt. But I say that with this, we're doing a disservice to young people of not educating them and giving them a physical literacy in school. It should be a curriculum. Your health and wellness is something that goes far beyond your educational years. It helps you in your profession. Look at all the different studies about VO2 max. Even grip strength is a precursor to overall health. Like all those different things that we do at the Armory. Yes, I'm talking about them, but it matters. And why not give them a taste of like what that is? To me, the greatest things that the weight room teaches is accountability to your partner. And we've talked about this numerous times, Bob, where at Ohio State, we don't coach necessarily the guy in the weight rack doing the exercise. We focus our coach.
Coach the dude coaching the dude.
Why is that important? Everybody that's out there, because when they go onto the field, there is no player to coach communication. It's player on player communication. It's holding each other accountable to 1, doing all of your reps, 2, doing all your reps correctly, and 3, I can actually focus my attention not on myself, but on somebody else, right? The servant mentality. And so you get that. And I have seen here at the Armory, some of our kids that go and they're younger in high school, because we don't put them in siloed groups of, 6th grade and 8th grade and high school. Like, no, we put them all together. The training is all different, but what does it do? It shows them like, this is how a senior that's going to college trains. Like, you need to see that. I grew up, Bob, very lucky. When I was Sam's age, me, Brian, my dad, Metroflex gym, boom. Ronnie Coleman front squat and 585 for reps. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up training with grown men and women. So did you. Like that was awesome. Like, because your dad was a high school coach, you're an ankle biter, but you were submerged in how the varsity kids were training when you were a little bitty.
All right.
And that's all you knew. I know
you know what?
I'm sorry.
You're going to give us a nugget.
We need that. You and I need to get on a whiteboard, talk to the OHSAA about ticket prices and about locking in that you can do physical, like training, weight room training.
I think that's more than
sports.
The education department of the state of Ohio. So
we should do that. We know a guy. Let's talk to that guy.
Let's take that over. See if Tressel will point us to that. I bet he would. And you're going to give us some nuggets from one of the world's oldest bodybuilder coming up next. All right, Schlegs, let's hear it.
Yeah, throw it up there. The only reason I put this up there, 1, he's got a veteran hat on, so I appreciate his service. 2, look at that guy, 100-year-old, oldest bodybuilder. And again, it's not necessarily being a bodybuilder. It's just the fact that the guy is still training. And I absolutely love that. That's the biggest thing. Like, you can't – I don't know. I'm never probably going to stop working. I'm never going to stop training. It's a lifestyle.
Would you say Diddy can't stop, won't stop?
What's that?
Would you say Diddy can't stop, won't stop?
No, I did not say that.
That's what you said. I'll never stop.
I did not say that.
That's your nugget, Schlegs. We're going to Friday. Can't stop, won't stop. Always train.
I just love the fact that the picture they showed of him is him doing strict bicep curls. Even it doesn't matter. He's in there getting after it.
Absolutely. We got more from the Bobby Carpenter Show coming up on Friday.